Welcome back to the Sioux City Show. This is episode 10. We are now in the double digits. They said we couldn't do it, but here we are, double digits, 10 episodes in, and I'm here with Alex Newman from Calling Grace. Alex, go ahead and tell us what Calling Grace is and what instrument you play.
Calling Grace is a hard rock band from right here in Sioux City. I play guitar and do a little bit of singing, not too much. They don't really like me to sing very much, but
You don't got the voice on you?
no, I do. I'm okay. It's a voice.
Well, damn it, the rest of Calling Grace, let Alex sing. Let Alex sing.
The thing
more.
is Sean and Logan are both so much better than me.
So, and Sean's your lead singer, and
Sean's the
Logan
lead singer.
is...
Yep, Logan is rhythm guitar, and he also does a lot of background vocals. Logan was actually in the band Solstice on Fire before he joined with us, and he was a lead vocalist there, and he was I thought he was phenomenal. He's like right in my wheelhouse. So, like, obviously Sean, he came from our other band Trust, which was much more groove rock. It was very melodic rock and a little slower, and so he really didn't have to cut loose at all as far as like pushing himself. So I was really excited when Logan said that he was interested in joining the band, because I felt like that's just another ace up our sleeve. Like, maybe the sections of the songs that Sean really can't, if he doesn't feel comfortable or, just doesn't have the capacity to really push himself and get that dirty, gritty, boisterous, like, what's the word I'm looking for? But anyway,
It's
you
that
get
real
it.
raw like that.
Yeah, just that that I've been smoking for 30 years, type of just nasty, gravelly vocals. Logan could kind of fill in there and help us out.
I dig it. So who, like, just so we can get this out of the way, who's the rest of the members of the band so we don't forget anybody?
So you have Jake Rains on the drums. Jake, he's really good. Great drummer, annoying person, but no, I'm kidding. And then you have Bill Pelchat on the bass, and yeah, Bill's awesome.
All right.
Great bass lines. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, whenever he's not at practice, it just feels empty.
Yep.
He holding down that bottom end. It's really great.
I dig it. And you guys, before I forget to mention this, the big deal is you guys are in the finals of the band 6K, it's now called, the Hard Rock Battle. The band's formerly Road to Vegas.
Yep, it's formerly Road to Vegas.
Awesome.
And we are in the finals. It's honestly kind of hard to believe. Like, when we entered the competition, we didn't think for a second that we would actually make it this far, but hey.
That's how it is, man.
Yeah.
So are you a Cinderella story then? Do you consider it that?
I felt that way going in, but after like talking to a lot of people, like just hearing the hype about us, I was just like, I just don't even know where this is coming from. Like, they were a lot of people were a lot more confident in us than we were.
I love it. How have the Weekender reviews been fair to you guys going through?
I think so.
Have they been showing you love, or it's Christopher been putting the crosshairs on you?
No, you know what? Chris is fantastic. I love that guy. I love reading his stuff. He's always really fair with us. I really appreciate it. The second round was not our greatest showing, and yeah, I mean, we definitely felt the criticism when we listened to them, and we made sure that we made an account to shore up our shortcomings. But yeah, and in his review, he kind of laid into us a little bit, and it was awesome. I appreciated it, because you get so much. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Here? Okay, I didn't know if it was. You hear so much bullshit from people, and
Well, that wasn't really a swear.
well, I'm a family man.
So you
I
hear
watch
so
my
much bullshit
mouth.
from
Yeah,
people.
Yeah, you get so much, maybe not genuine criticism, like not like positive criticism, like.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to know, like what you need to.
Getting somebody to be
improve on.
honest as an
Yeah.
actual audience member is probably super.
Because people care about your feelings more than they care about your, you getting better and furthering your career.
So, you mentioned that, like, Sean and you were both in Trust right before, and, like, going from groove rock to a harder rock. So, like, I guess I'm kind of so far outside of, I don't know how to play any instruments, or I've never been in a band. Like, how do, like, the decisions get made? Like, when you're going into a band, do you say, like, dude, I'm tired of making groove rock, let's make hard rock shit? Or do you just kind of, like, fall in with musicians, and that's, like, what everybody gravitates towards in that time and day? Or
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we first started the band, like, we all come from a very similar, I guess I shouldn't even say that, because we all have different tastes in music, but when we started to form the band, yeah, it was kind of weird. I don't even know how to answer. Like, I don't really know how we decided what we were gonna do. I think honestly, when we got into a room, and I was the only guitar player at the time, so it was basically, hey, follow me.
Yeah, nice.
So, and this is what I want to play. So, but Jake is a big Seven Dust fan, so and I'm a huge Seven Dust fan, Deftones fan, and Sean's always been really into heavier music as well. So it felt it was just natural. This is what we wanted to do. I didn't want to do I didn't want to do Trust 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to really turn it up a bit, and because with Trust, I love the music that we made, but it wasn't right for me. It was a morphine drop of adrenaline, and I just wanted something more. Now, granted, Calling Grace isn't hardcore or anything like that, but it's just that we have elements that people of that scene can gravitate towards, and we also have elements that people that like a little bit more melody can gravitate towards as well.
I dig that. So like every band's least favorite question, but it helps the people who are listening who aren't familiar with your music. Like, what band would you say you're most comparable to, or a few bands that you might be in the realm of?
Chevelle.
Okay.
Is definitely one. Just because of Sean's vocals, like Tool, A Perfect Circle, just because he sounds a lot like Maynard, I think anyway. Like, if you listen to our song, Here's to the End, like, it almost sounds like in a perfect circle song.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of weird to say. But yeah, I mean, I would say Chevelle, Tool, which is kind of weird because Chevelle's kind of definitely influenced by Tool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just a lot of like I wouldn't want to say new metal, but like a lot of those, just the hard rock from like the early 2000s and stuff like that were definitely influenced by.
Yeah, that's the pack-a-day of Marlboro since you've been 10 years old, and a bottle of Wild Turkey for every breakfast. Is that like that that singer voice that like got super big for a while? That's kind of gone, like for new bands coming out. Yeah, it's not like Hinder was like another one.
Yeah, they were kind of like the last of the rock bands that really took off, and then from then on it just
got soft, man.
Yeah, it's when Imagine Dragons and that is your rock bands of today. It's just like
EDM with guitars.
Yeah, it's like I don't even hear it. Like, when I think of rock music, I think of guitar riffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where are the goddamn riffs?
Yeah,
it's driving me nuts. And then, so I mean, there's obviously like there's still bands that are holding it down. Like Seven Dust is going to be here on June 1st. I can't wait for that show. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, as far as like new acts, there's really not a lot coming out. Like, all the rock music is, I don't know, it's kind of void of just.
I didn't realize like how many of these, like, the Imagine Dragons brand of rock music, how many of them were like using like actual like synth guitars. You know? And it's like, the hell?
Yeah, I know.
You can't get somebody who can play a 6-string on the track. Like, come on, let's do.
Well,
a little
they can.
Bit
it's just. I mean, it's so buried in the mix. It's just on top of the mix. It's not really.
Yeah.
It's not prominent at all. Which, whatever. Like, I know a lot of people like their music, and I'm not one to. I am one to shit on people for not shit on people, but I'm one to shit on music that I don't like. But it's whatever. It's all subjective anyway. But
I feel you. Yeah. So, like, with the band 6K, how many rounds have you been through so far? 3 rounds, and you're to the finals. Mm-hmm. That seems like a nice little hop, skip, and a jump from the beginning. And and there hasn't been any slackers in.
No,
it's been Arson City and
Dad.
Well, I mean, like, not those are winners, but it was Arson City versus Gypsy Lover year 1, and then it was Dad versus Devour Once Dead year 2, and now it's going to be Calling Grace, and the winner of which happening tonight.
Artificial Stars and Thick Mistress.
Yep. Newsflash. I don't release these right away. So this will probably be coming out next week for all of our listeners, but I'll probably put it in the copy, whoever won. Yeah. So that's, I mean, either way, I think that, like, it's cool that both bands, or like, no matter who wins between Artificial Stars and Thick Mistress, is going to be a rock band. Yeah. There's going to be 2 rock bands in the finals of the Battle of the Bands, and that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was some really good hip hop acts this year too. Like, Rev is a buddy of mine, and I honestly think he's amazing. Like, I know I'm biased, but I'm not really a hip hop guy. And I remember Sean and I went to, excuse me, we booked a show at the Chesterfield. It was with Rev and Gateway Drug. It was like a mixed, genre show. And we didn't know who Rev was, and he opened the show and he started, and Sean was like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And from that day on, I've been a huge fan, and now we're really close friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's phenomenal.
I also have to back up. I feel like I kind of shit on hip hop acts, but I didn't mean it like that at all. I just mean it's cool that in the battle of the bands, it's
for the
gonna be
hard
rock.
rock
Yeah, it's gonna be
battle
like
of
a
the
rock
bands,
show.
it's
Yeah,
two
yeah.
rock bands.
I think that's dope. Yeah, but first of all, I got to give a shout out to Rosario Rev's project that just came out with Tapwater Shrimp. Their split
awesome.
EP, unreal.
Yeah.
I think that Rev dropped his 3 tracks on there were the best 3 tracks that I think I might have ever heard from him. That it's just damn, this dude kills it, man.
He's phenomenal. And
I've had Monster on repeat. It's the first track of his that's on that album. And
see, the first one that I really got addicted to was Imbecile, and you shot the video for that, I believe.
Yeah.
And man, when I first heard that, I was just like I said, I'm not really a hip hop guy, but it's hip hop like that I can tell is genuine and heartfelt, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is right in the old wheelhouse.
Yeah, and he's got a voice on him too. He's got a really it's something different. It's not I was showing, I think it was my sister, this rap track that was made by a few rappers in Sioux City the other day, and they were all white dudes, and she's like, oh, I thought those were all the same dude. I thought those were all the same rapper on there, because everybody's voice sounded so similar, because it's 3 white guys that were raised in the same city, so everybody's voice kind of turns out similar.
His is definitely distinct.
Yeah, and he's got a super talented dude.
Mm-hmm.
So how many albums does Calling Grace has an album out?
Yeah,
correct?
we have our EP, Here's to the End.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we're going to be going back in the studio here in the next couple months to record the second one.
Awesome. Do you guys have the studio picked out, or where you're gonna go?
Yeah, we always go to Cat House Studios. Mike Dresch
in Omaha.
Sioux Falls.
Oh,
South Dakota.
You're right.
Yeah,
Hidden. It's like a Hidden Tracks, I think, is the Omaha one I was thinking of, but
I don't know.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Cat House.
Mike's the only guy we've really ever gone to.
I know the guys from the Foreborn Records crew use Cat House as well.
Yeah, I know. Every day on Facebook, I see that they're in there. It's it seems like, I was like, my God, I mean, they're keeping Mike busy, which is awesome. Mike's a great guy.
Well, I think they're in the process of now Forewarn Studios is becoming a thing.
Yeah, I saw that too. They're gonna do their own recording.
I think it's right down by Rocket Auto there off Gordon on Correctionville Road, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's cool.
That'd
I mean,
be sweet.
that'd be nice. Especially I mean, I don't know if they have the intentions of making it big enough for rock recording is a whole different thing than having an audio booth for hip hop.
Folks on the label and that.
Yeah, I just think having options for hip hop acts, basically taking a price barrier out of recording, having a professional-esque recording done for if you're a hip hop act, I think is going to be a nice option for sure, because there's no reason that a hip hop studio session needs to cost what it does for a rock session, because there's no miking guitars, there's no miking amps,
it's a lot less labor.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as the physical labor of it, I mean, I'm sure obviously it's still labor intensive as far as the mixing and mastering and everything like that,
but just vocals is a lot nicer than having to pick out guitar chords that weren't perfect.
Exactly. Going back and just punching in.
What does a recording process start to finish time wise look like? Is it generally something you guys try and knock out in a week or two, or? I
mean, with Mike, everything is we broke it up in just a few days.
Okay.
We spent 2 days recording the first 3 tracks, and then a couple months later we spent 2 days recording the next 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it wasn't like a long, grueling month process of us going back in there and redoing guitars. That's why when you listen to our record, performance wise, not mixing wise, but performance wise, you might hear very human moments of maybe not perfectly picked. The poem you might not be very strong, and it's just because we just didn't have a lot of time to go back through and just completely edit every single guitar track and everything like that, which is fine. That's fine. Obviously this day and age, music is so produced, and it's lost a lot of the humanity out of it, and it's so for us, it doesn't bother us too much.
I think that's why you see bands like the Black Keys, or even a Jack White, like them finding like such a like fan base when they hear their music for the first time, because it's like, oh, this is gritty, this is like old school, you know,
I
blowing out vocals and shit.
My boss always listens to the Black Keys, and like I'd heard of them, but I just never really gave them a chance. Like as I get older, it's really hard for me to allow new bands and new music into my circle. I'm trying to get better about that, like just trying to, you know, enlighten myself with more. But he was listening and I was like, who the hell is this? Like, this is great. Like, it's just a very European like sound, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they're kind of the Arctic Keys are European, right? And they're kind of in the same vein. So yeah, it is sound European. But like, yeah, it just like it sounds like it was recorded almost like in the 60s, and they found like an old recording of it and then dubbed that onto another.
Yeah, it's definitely it's very British, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're British, but are the Black Keys British or no? Arctic Keys are.
Arctic Keys are, yeah.
See,
but Dan,
Arctic Wait, it's the Arctic Monkeys, isn't it?
Arctic Monkeys. Oh yeah. Did I say the Arctic Keys?
Yeah.
The Arctic Monkeys. Yeah. Come on, man.
Well, this Keys is in Monkeys.
Yeah, that's true. The Arctic Monkeys. But Dan Auerbach's got the singer from the Black Keys has a new project that I think he's just releasing like a solo album.
Oh, really?
Or he just released a solo album, and it is dope. It came up on like my the Apple Music new music playlist or whatever that kind of takes like what you listen to and feeds in some suggestions, and it's like, okay, I like this. I
mean, it's a genre of music that I never really knew existed, and there's a ton. Like, there's literally a ton of them. Like, I hear excuse me, I hear them all the time. Another band that always kind of like that I never really heard of, and then they came to the Hard Rock, and I kind of started listening to them. Jesus Christ, now I can't think of their name. Oh man, they sing that "Hello, My Name Is Human" song.
Oh, if I had a producer right now, I'd tell him to Google it for me. But,
I won't.
It's
what's their name?
But
whatever.
So you know what? I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna self.
Everybody like Jake is like, once he watches this, he's gonna be slamming on his computer, like just screaming the name of him.
Human. Hello, My Name Is Human is by
Highly Suspect.
You right?
Yeah, just hit me.
The second I brought it up, yeah. So that's like another genre of rock that you hadn't really listened to.
Yeah, I mean it's another band that I thought was from over in the UK, and they're not.
Where are they from?
I don't know. Ron Stewart told me where they're from. I just can't remember the state.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that corrected me on that, and I was like, oh, shit.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's like... I think that's like a super... kudos that has to go out to Brad Streeter booking at the Hard Rock, that like I've discovered music and bands and stuff from like my shows that I've gone at the Hard Rock and been like, damn, dude, this band is legit. He's been
killing it. Did you go see Red Sun Rising?
I did not. I did not. They were amazing. I have not like been to a show that I've intended to go to for so long. Like I keep like intending on going to shows, and I just like something comes up last second.
I was already a fan of them.
And
they blew me away. Like, they were so good. It's kind of weird now, like, when I go to shows, it's really hard to go as a fan. Like, now when I go to shows, I'm always looking like, oh, what's their merch game like? Like, what are they doing? Like, they have any different lighting or anything like that? Like, what are they doing? Like, I'm always, like, looking around, like, just fucking studying everything. And, like, there for their set, it was really nice. Like, they sucked me into their set, and it was so good. And they didn't do anything fancy at all. Like, it was just, I mean, they had a backdrop with their name on it, and it was just dudes up there just killing it. Like, they were just amazing.
Those are the best shows. I don't know. There's something about like stripped down stage production that just like makes me love a band.
If there's
more.
A stage production and the music has substance, then it's amazing.
Yeah.
And we played, I won't say their name, but we played with a band, and it wouldn't be that hard to figure it out, but we played with a band at the Hard Rock, and you could just really tell that it was all
stage production.
All stage, and their music just, I don't know, just felt flat. Like, because I remember watching that show, it was Starset. I'll just say it was Starset. We played with Starset, and I remember watching the show. It was really cool, and like from the technological side, but musically, it just didn't do anything for me. And the show-wise, it just didn't like suck me in. I wasn't engrossed. And with Red Sun Rising, it was just,
unreal.
It's just unreal. They blew me away.
Have you
wearing the shirt I bought?
Nice. Have you seen Arson City live?
They opened for Red Sun Rising.
That's a
Yeah.
band because
They're
I don't know what
legit.
their stage setup looked like when they open.
I mean, they had I kind of like it kind of sucked because like this was the first time I'd ever seen them, and I heard
Yeah.
like how awesome their stage show is and that, and they were limited on space. Like their drummer was in front of
Yeah, the other
Red
drum,
Sun's
yeah.
drummer, and so. But they still put on a hell of a show. I love their whole gimmick. It's so awesome.
And that's the thing is that like with a gimmick, like with a
Yeah,
with
I don't mean
with
gimmick as a
shtick,
derogatory term.
It can easily turn into a cheesy gimmick. Like when some bands like I feel like ICP's like kind of gets a little corny. It's like okay, we're all clowns now. But like the Arson City shit, man, it's just like it's badass.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Well, and I was just looking at because my memory is dog shit. But they had that festival where their set was cut off and they didn't get to play, and they were but they stuck around and they signed autographs and stuff like that, took pictures with people, and I remember just looking at some of their pictures, like the face paint and stuff they had. I was like, God, this is so goddamn cool. It looks so good, and I'm such a sucker for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I love obviously ours is very like limited compared to that. Like, I mean, I just wear dress pants, a dress shirt, and a tie, but for me that's it's our gear, but when I see like what they're doing in that, it's just like, oh, it's really cool. And the podium on the stage, I don't know, it's really cool. I really love it.
And they go like when they were in the finals of the Road to Vegas the first year, they had a riser so there was the podium right in the middle, right, but then they had like 2 half pyramid 2-step up.
Oh, okay.
Sides on either side of the stage that they had like drummer, like they had
like extra
with
people
a floor tom, I believe was the name of that drum.
Okay.
And they had 4 extra drums, so they had 5 drummers on stage, and it was
That's cool.
dope, and that guy's got a voice on him too.
Yeah, I remember he doesn't remember this, but I actually, when he was in Emphatic, they played in Storm Lake in my shithole band that I was in. Actually, I mean, it was terrible, but it was fun. But we actually opened for them, and it was when Matt, their Arson City's guitar player, he was in his band Cold Steel. They played that show too, and so I was a huge Emphatic fan for the longest time, and it's kind of cool. It's all kind of come full circle.
Yeah, it's crazy how like once you, I've been in like the position of being like a fan, like a kid who's like totally disconnected from the entire music world, being like 16, 17, right, and being like, oh my God, these people are amazing, like they become your idols, right, and then like you kind of get like that first edge. For me, it's been like I do a lot of like photo and video work in the music industry, and it's like, oh, I now in the same room as these people that like I used to just idolize, and it's crazy how like quickly that the circle kind of shrinks, in like especially regional, with them being from Omaha. It's like you kind of cross paths quite a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and at the time, like Emphatic, like I mean, I was like 18 years old, and like I remember at the time like, oh, this is so cool. It's Emphatic, it's Emphatic. It's like I think they had just. I don't know if they were signed or they were going to be signed.
I want to say they were signed to Atlantic.
I think that's what it was too. And I just remember like this. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And then now, obviously, 10 years later, seeing them in Arson City and that. And then Matt, like I said, like because when he was in Cold Steel, I remember they were like 15 years old and they were just incredible. They reminded me, it was like a blend of Avenged Sevenfold and Motley Crue.
Oh, that's crazy.
They were awesome.
Earlier when you mentioned like the recording process, and I like was gonna interject that it's so much different, like with Sioux City bands or smaller bands in general, not having record label money. And it's like something that I deal with, like with music videos. Like people will show me like the new, I don't know if you've seen the new Donald Glover music video, like the This Is America music video, that's pretty crazy, like super high production value, and like people will be like, hey man, I want like, dude, how much would something like how much for something like this? And I'd be like, that video cost, if they cut corners on budget, if they really half-assed it, that video cost $80,000.
Yeah.
So there's, that's kind of like, just for reference, like if you're still planning on doing a video like that, that video costs $80,000. So I don't know how much you're planning on shaving off that to get down to where your budget's at, but that's the difference between having a record label behind you and an advance and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we shot our music video with Jake's iPhone.
Nice.
So
that's the way to do it,
yeah,
man.
it was free.
I try and encourage everybody, like, it's still, I mean, I'm putting myself out of business, right? But like, I try and encourage like everybody I work with when they're like, oh, can we have you like come shoot this thing? I'm like, guys, you can create content all of the time.
Yeah.
Just use your iPhones. Like have your homie pick up an iPhone, point it at you,
Yeah.
and play music. And that's what people want to see. They just care about the content. They don't care
Yeah,
about
exactly.
the
Like,
camera.
exactly. It's the same thing I always tell people, like with new bands and that. And they're like, oh, what should we be doing? I was like, just, it doesn't matter how bad the recording is. Just get your stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be industry standard. Like, just get it out there.
Make music. Well, it's like back in the day, a demo tape was like literally like a homemade cassette.
Yeah.
Damn near, you got like a 4-track recorder with your homies and like half-assed a tape out on analog and made copies of that until they were demolished. Like, I mean, like that was like right before, because you said you're 28, right?
Yeah.
I'm 27, so that'd be like damn near right before our time, because that's,
I was gonna say.
I mean, because MIDI ins were like, I mean, I think that's like a right around 2000s kind of thing. So, yeah.
I have no idea.
Come on, man. No music technology. I'm just kidding.
I don't. I really don't. It's kind of weird. It's kind of sad, actually. I mean, I play guitar for about 15 years now, and I'm completely lost when it comes to any of that stuff. Not completely lost, but very rudimentary level of knowledge when it comes to it.
That's good. Don't let gear get in the way of
I know, but now I'm starting to go down that rabbit hole, and it's like, it sucks because I'm like so far behind the curve, and I'm like showing things to like Bill, who's like our gear geek, and I get so excited about something, and I think I know how to use it, and then I don't. And I'm just like, Bill, please fix this. Get it working for me. So I don't know. I got a lot to learn yet.
The eternal struggle. The law of diminishing return, where if you buy, just for your numbers, like if you buy a $200 guitar, it's kind of a piece of junk, and then you buy a $400 guitar and it's twice as good as that $200 guitar. You buy an $800 guitar and it's twice as good as that $400 guitar. But then you get to the point where it's like, is this $2,000 guitar half as good as a $4,000 guitar? No. It's just like the increases diminish at some point. Where it's like a 2% gain for another $1,000.
You're just buying status at that point.
That's the camera game is a hard nickel. Yeah, it's not a fun game when you start getting into expensive cameras, and like I got top end prosumer cameras is kind of the name of the level, and it's like in that $3,000 to $5,000 range, and then
for a camera.
Oh yeah, this one and a couple of but then like right after that, it's like it quickly goes to like 15,000 is like the next step, and it's like, Jesus, I'm not ready for that.
Man, I just want to film my kids play, like my kids, preschool play.
Exactly, but that's the thing is that, it's especially in Sioux City, it's not economically viable.
Exactly.
You're never gonna get the, if you live in, even like in the Twin Cities or something like that, like people will come to you with a budget for a video, and it's like, oh, I have $10,000 budget for this commercial shoot. Here it's like, what can we do for $250?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
it's the same. Like it's the same with studio time and stuff like that. Everybody wants a bang for the buck, and which is, I mean, it's good because everything's DIY around here. And Mike Dresch is super reasonably priced, and he makes a good. I mean, I'm really happy with. I'm not looking at it. I was just looking over there, just staring off into space. I'm really happy with how Here's to the End turned out, and yeah, so we're just gonna continue to keep going to him.
Yeah, I will say, like, I know, like, from knowing about Calling Grace from afar, like, I was always like super impressed with like branding, like an attention to branding, and
we're really conscious of it.
Image and logos and that kind of stuff, and like making sure that everything's cohesive and is recognizably. Calling Grace is really a good deal that you guys have been. Yeah,
I mean, when we first started, that was something we had immediately said, and Chris even covered this with us in the article in the Weekender. We said when we first started, we wanted to come out and we wanted to look like we have been a band for 10 years, and we didn't want to come out and just not have a product to put in people's hands and have them leave with. And so, yeah, we're super conscious of it. And it's pretty easy. We have Jake as our, in our back pocket with that. I mean, he works for KTIV. This is what he does. This is what he does for a living. So he's really efficient at it. And yeah, so I mean, we do have an edge when it comes to that. Like, we don't have to, it's not an expense.
Yeah.
that a lot of people would have to pay
I
for
appreciate
good quality stuff.
I appreciate like an attention to that because it drives me nuts. As much as I love authentic DIY content, it drives me nuts when people put out drafts. Like when people are like, "Oh, check out this new track. It'll be mixed and mastered next week. I can't wait to put it out as a single." It's like, dog, you just lost everybody by doing that. Like, people listen to that and you half-assed it. And that's one thing, like, so you said if it's not up to industry standard, that's one thing for a final recording. But if you're planning on making it better, don't put out the bad version.
Just wait.
Yeah, come on. It's
Be
not
patient.
that tough.
I mean, it's hard though. Like when you're making music, when you're writing music and that, and you just want to get it out to people. You want people to hear it and give you feedback. Like it's such a pretentious industry as far as that. Like when, it comes with the territory. When you're writing music, you want people to hear it, and it's you feel like an obligation too. Like I always feel like, are we putting out enough? Are we doing enough? Are we keeping an eye? Like, 'cause you want to have a consistent stream of content going out to keep people engaged. People's attention spans are so short. And so it's like we're super conscious of it, and it honestly what's helped us a lot in this battle is just having that professional look.
That's nice. Like in any type of artistic endeavor, there's like a certain level of like narcissism that goes into it just by the nature of the beast. Like people don't create things and put them out to other people unless they want like a positive reaction to your work, right? So there is a level of narcissism in it, but it's like also having that awareness of who the audience is as well is like what separates basically the novices from the more polished bands and artists in general. And I think that you guys have done a great job of that.
I mean, I appreciate it, man. Seriously, it means a lot to us because we've worked really, like, people don't really understand like how hard we've worked to get to where we are as far as that. And so it's really nice to have that acknowledgement from people, and like you said, it's a very narcissistic industry. So when you hear compliments, and that's just like,
that's what it's really for. Like everybody's like, I don't give a shit about anybody what they think about it. It's like, well, then don't ever put out a song and just like do it for yourself. Then if you just do it for yourself.
I mean, there's so many people that are full of shit when it comes to that. Like, I don't really, this is all about the art. I just want to make music, and that's the case. You can do that without putting it out to the public. You can stay home and do that. And so, I mean, it's a narcissistic industry that doesn't claim to be a narcissistic industry.
Yeah, in fact, it tries to claim the opposite for the most part.
Exactly.
That's funny. I like it. So, the new album's coming out. This is slated to be recorded.
We haven't even booked the studio time yet. We've been planning on it. We just haven't. Actually, I think we have. Okay, here's a very common thing with me. It's kind of a reoccurring joke in the band. They always make fun of me and say, "Oh, finger on the pulse," because I never know what the hell's going on. I think we did actually book the time. I just can't remember exactly when it is. I think it's in September.
There you go. So next year we'll count on some releases.
Definitely. Dig it. Maybe even earlier.
So what got you into music, man? Like, I mean, it's not something that everybody does, right?
It's something
kind of a dying craft more than ever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's something a lot of people want to do. It's just a lot of work, and especially if you don't have the resources as far as like taking lessons and that. Because if you're self-taught, like I'm self-taught, and it took me a few tries to really like sink my teeth into it and try to like get beyond that first threshold that's so hard to get past because there's such a high learning curve. Yeah, exactly. And just like I was teaching guitar lessons for a little bit, and man, like you just don't really understand like things that are so second nature to you are so hard for somebody that's never played before, and you're like, Jesus Christ, can you just do this? Like it's not that hard. Like you have to have an impeccable amount of patience for it. And so what really got me into it, like neither of my parents really played any instruments. I think my dad did, like played drums, but like nothing to the extent of like, oh, I want to do this for a career. It was just something he kind of meandered with. But there was always music in my house. Like my dad's a huge music fanatic as far as classic rock. Like when I grew up, it was always AC/DC, Kiss, not Led Zeppelin, any of the good bands from that era. But it was always like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin.
AC/DC's badass, dude.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Kiss is soft, but AC/DC's badass.
No, I went on this, man, I'm not gonna lie, I went on this huge, not huge, but like I went on this or in my earlier 20s, I don't know why I had this vendetta against AC/DC, and I just shit on them constantly. But now I'm like, you know what? They released the same album like a million times, but they know it, and they're just, it's just the music they wanted to make, and it's iconic, and they're legends, and I would love to go see them in concert.
And they switched lead singers and didn't skip a beat.
I don't know. I wouldn't even want to go see him now, just because, I mean, without Brian Johnson, it's just, I don't know. It's not the same.
All right, you hater. Keep going.
But otherwise, yeah, my dad listened to a lot of classic rock. I remember the band Jackal? With like the chainsaws and that?
Yeah.
That was like, for some reason, I just have a very distinct memory of him listening to that CD constantly. And then my mom was more into like the pop side of everything. Like we listen to Cher all the time. Which back then I hated it, but now I'm like, I could sing If I Could Turn Back Time every day. Love that song.
Was your mom like also, let me guess, like, did you grow up in Odebolt? Mm-hmm. Sheryl Crow? Were you a Sheryl Crow household? Not a John Mellencamp, Bruce Springsteen household?
John Mellencamp. Yeah, my dad had that tape. And but he didn't really listen to it that often. I was never like, honestly, what got me into John Mellencamp was my history teacher. He used to listen to like a lot of folk singers and like Bob Dylan and then John Mellencamp and stuff like during class. And it was awesome. And that's what really got me into it. But yeah, otherwise it was mostly just like classic rock and that. And yeah. Then as I grew up, I started listening to like, I got really into Nirvana, Nevermind.
As we do.
Yeah. And so like I always knew I wanted to be involved in music. But I was never drawn to music like from a musicianship standpoint. I just love good songwriting. I loved that the intimacy of it. I loved listening to a song and being like, God damn, I can really just this is genuine. And so that's where I really fell in love with music, was just the stories and just the the genuine, just someone pouring their heart out and me listening and relating on some certain level. And so that's what really made me want to get into music. I wanted to be, I always wanted to be a songwriter, which is kind of weird because I don't write any of the lyrics for any of our songs now. Sean does that because he's amazing at it. But yeah, that was like, honestly, my love of music was just the story. And yeah, just.
That's cool. So how old were you? Like a early teenager?
When I was honestly like, I was probably like, when I started listening like Nirvana, like really getting into music.
No, I'm talking
like 11.
Like playing guitar.
Playing 15.
Yeah. 15? Oh, somebody wanted to get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I feel you, man.
It worked, man. I married her.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Hear that? Young people of Sioux City trying to figure out how to play the guitar? This will get your dream girl.
Yep. Been
I
married 6 years, been together 10.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's every boy. I think
I did it wrong. Like, you're not supposed to settle down with one. Like, you're supposed to just keep going. Like, you're supposed to.
I think that comes with more problems than it's worth.
Yeah.
I think you did it right, dog.
I don't know. I have 3 kids and I'm trying to be a professional musician. So.
My man.
So it's I don't know how smart of decision making that is.
I was just out actually earlier today talking to somebody about because I also have like a girlfriend I've been with for 3 years, and it's like the less I just don't have to dedicate any part of my mind towards being a single guy and all that entails anymore. Yeah. The stability makes it a lot easier to be an artist, or be like create work. Like a lot of people are like, oh, the sex and drugs, like that's what being a rock star or whatever is about. But it's like, I don't know, man. There's something to be said about having dinner made for you.
I mean, that's the sex and drugs and that. I don't know. I don't know if that really holds true today.
Yeah, it's
because now, like, you don't really hear about rock bands and that destroying hotel rooms and everything anymore.
Yeah, now that credit cards are on file, it's just out the window.
And also now that they're not making nearly as much money.
Yeah, and social media. If you grab a stray booby backstage that you're not supposed to be doing, you're done.
Yeah, you become
good, as you should be. Shut it down. No more sex and drugs and music ever.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, dude.
Now it's all. I mean, it's kind of boring. Like in our band, 3 of us literally don't even drink. So
nice.
It's
you guys are straight edge. You guys should call yourself a straight edge hardcore band.
We could.
Whole new lane.
We'd have to
like Black
Sean,
Flag.
we'd have to get Sean and Bill to quit drinking. But we can do that little persuasion.
Yeah, they could do it like behind the scenes, just not telling.
Now you just outed it. Now it's.
That's true. That's true, dude.
So
I'm just ruining the band here.
Thanks.
All right, well, we might just
really
not put out this episode. Yeah.
I was gonna really pursue that market.
Yeah.
The straight edge. That's a thing now. That's a big thing now, though. The straight edge community. Hear about it all the time.
It's good. It's better than rock stars dying at 27.
Yeah.
For sure.
You ever listen to like Jamie Josta's podcast, the singer for Hatebreed?
Huh.
Yeah, he like I'm pretty sure he's like all straight edge now. He brings like all these like hardcore guys from like New York and that from like back in the day that played this insane music, and they're like all straight edge and yeah they don't do anything.
I love that dude. I love not that dude. I love Henry Rollins, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's fun to listen
like
to.
The adrenaline running through that guy's veins and the
Super
lack of
intelligent.
drugs in his system is just shocking.
You ever watch when he was on? I mean, this was many years ago, but you can find it on YouTube when he was on Howard Stern and that.
I haven't seen the Howard Stern. I don't think
He's a lot of fun to listen to.
I've seen like I've seen like a bunch of because I went down like a Henry Rollins rabbit hole one night and I just don't think I delved
Everybody
into
does.
any
Like
of
if you
the,
spend enough time on the internet,
yeah.
and you're a music fan, like eventually you're gonna go down a Henry Rollins rabbit hole.
I love the old school videos of him, like when he was like still killing. Like, just let me double check. Black Flag, right? Was okay when he was like still like like heavily with Black Flag and shit, and like he'd like come out there and people would be like expecting like a rock star. And the dude's dressed like a PE teacher in 6th grade. You know, like he's just high gym shorts and a white T-shirt tucked in, and
Henry
he's
Rollins
ripped out of his mind. Yeah,
you don't care.
Yeah, and I love I listen to him on Joe Rogan, and like he travels constantly. He's writing for like 6 different publications.
Yep.
Like at the same time, and then like he just like. They were like, what do you do when you are, at home? And he's like, oh, I just hate being at home. So I just work out constantly and I sit in front of this giant record player I have and just blast vinyl right at my face. I'm like, how does this guy, what is going through him? Like
Some people, man, it's just, they're wired differently.
Different breed.
Sure. They get addicted. It's addictive. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just being on the road now, like it can be addictive. I know, like, I know, like it's, as a band, like we romanticize about just all of us hopping in a van and let's just travel America together and just go play a bunch of venues, and I mean there's just something romantic about it.
I think if you turn that van into a Winnebago, you add some wives and kids in there, I think that you're I think you're ready.
You can only do that during the summer. Like my wife's got to work. Like,
oh dude, forget about it.
Yeah, I mean I'm trying to play music for a living. My wife's got to maintain a job.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, I mean. And also, like, that's my time.
That's true.
It's my time to get away from the realities.
Daddy's Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, but like I was saying, like, there's just something romantic about it. There's something romantic about just being, just open highway and just traveling and traveling and traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I say that now until we actually do it. I'm like, fuck, I just want to be home in my bed.
3 days of eating a gas station burritos,
Man,
and
like,
you guys are all in a van together.
That's what I'm worried about. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've been thinking, like, my wife does a lot of couponing. I'm like, honey, can you please, like, just, like, if you have these, like, fucking, like, little trail mix stuff, like, I don't want to eat gas station food and just have my stomach torn apart.
Yeah.
Because,
Gotta
keep your diet right.
It's not so romantic being in a van with 4 dudes who've been living off gas station
Yeah,
food
exactly.
for a few days. Yeah.
Just, gotta keep right, princess.
I dig it. So, with the band 6K, when is the finals?
May 26th.
May 26th that's a Saturday, right?
Yeah. Yep, it's on a Saturday, which is nice.
At what time?
I believe 8 o'clock. That's when all the other ones have started.
8 o'clock at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sioux City Anthem venue. We're working on getting it Battery Park, but more people gotta show up from Sioux City.
Yeah, this year, I mean, admittedly, the attendance hasn't been very good. Like, kind of sucks, but yeah, it's just like, I mean, I don't want to sound like a dick, but our shows have had a pretty good attendance.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, from what I've understood, like a few other ones just haven't really had that many people come, and it kind of sucks.
It's the way she goes, man.
I know the Sioux City scene is actually pretty strong.
But hear this: you cannot, if you are a band, you cannot just share the Facebook event. Yeah. You have to make some promos.
Yeah.
Look, this is the thing, is that people don't realize, like, whatever. Facebook became a thing, 06?
Yeah.
And 07, MySpace was like a thing 04, maybe?
Yeah.
03. Before that, you had to print out 500 flyers.
Beat the streets.
Yeah. It's printing out 500 flyers is not nearly as hard as is way harder than everybody in your band posting 10 statuses and 10 different pictures about going to these things. So people in Sioux City that are in bands.
Especially since if you're sharing it to your page, it's people that already know the show.
It's an echo chamber.
Yeah, it's already people that know about it anyway. You're not reaching a new audience. So yeah, I mean, obviously we spend money to promote it.
Good.
Stuff like that.
As you should. And there's a thing like okay, so like whenever people are starting or thinking about starting e-commerce businesses, I always tell them like, all right, take your idea and now realize that people don't surf the internet with their credit card in hand trying to spend money on random websites they've never seen before. So you have to market your website, right? And it's the same thing with like, bands in Sioux City. It's like people aren't just like trolling Facebook like, oh my God, where's a local show? Where's a local show? Like you have to get people excited.
To generate an interest.
Exactly.
And it's, like you always hear this all the time, like, oh, people need to support local music. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You need to generate that interest in it. You have to give them something that they want to go see. You can't just say it's kind of one of those tropes that's it's somebody that's not seeing the actual issue. It's they're formulating an issue that's not really there, rather than just saying like, oh, we need to do a better job of getting this out there and making it interesting and making it something that somebody's like, oh shit, I've got to go see that. I want to go see that. And so yeah, I mean, it's just little things like that I think that we're conscious of and we take into consideration that kind of helps us.
Awesome. That's a difference maker, really.
Yeah, it really is. Like, yeah, we don't feel like anybody owes us anything. Like, we don't feel like, oh, they should just come. The people are going to come because they just need to support local bands. It's like, well, yeah. I mean, I've already said that you got to give them a reason to.
People only have so many free nights in a week. Only so many nights that they can get a babysitter. So many, so much money they can put towards going to shows in a month. So yeah.
And there's so much to do now. There's so much competition for for entertainment.
Geez, even like live music wise.
Yeah.
On any given night, there's probably 2 or 3 different venues. I mean,
you have Marquee, you have Hard Rock, you have Whiskey Dicks, you have Doc's, you have Icky Nickel. Like, there's a bunch of places that hold music, that hold live music. So I mean, it's a competitive market, like, as far as that, and you have to make sure that you're taking necessary steps to ensure that people want to come see you and they want to and then you got to deliver the product. Like, you got to deliver on that. Definitely. And that's something, like, if you go back and watch some of our earlier shows, it's kind of a shit show, but we've come a long way.
So, I don't know if I'm catching you off guard with this or how closely you've watched other episodes, but this is the point in the show where I ask you, what do you think is the most slept on thing in Sioux City?
What?
It can be a product, a place, something you like to do in Sioux City that you think everybody should know.
Oh, I was taking that like as a literal sense. Like, no, dude, I'm not even from here. I have no idea.
It's not like.
Okay, like what's underrated?
Yeah, like something that you like about Sioux City that you think everybody should know about.
Sweaty dogs.
Oh, okay. I like
right by the Hard Rock there. It might be super popular. I've only had it once.
I think this is great.
And it was phenomenal.
Yeah. Sweaty Dogs. It's right across the street from the Hard Rock in like the strip mall there with Bergie's and Crash Boom Bang and Working Church. And yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, solid. That's an original recommendation.
Yeah. And they hang up a bunch of signs for local bands. They got a lot of like gateway drug stuff, and we're bringing them a drum head.
Awesome.
A kick drum head to hang up.
So with Sweaties, what'd you get off the menu?
The pork, it was the pulled pork hot dog.
Nice. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was awesome. I want to go back and like get like just a regular hot dog, put some ketchup and mustard on it, and see them, because like the pulled pork one was awesome, but it's like all that was really tasting was pulled. It was just pulled pork on top of a hot dog. It was fucking delicious, but like I want to give it the old litmus test. Just make me a regular hot dog, and then that'll really tell me how good this thing is. Otherwise, Sweaties is awesome.
Oh, we're going to keep it to one. There's only so many things in Sioux City, and I got more episodes coming.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I like it. I had somebody one time that wanted to do 3, and I was like, damn, I don't know if I'm going to make it into the double-digit episodes. Episode 10, here we are. But yeah, so if you have anything else you'd like to get out there before we wrap things up.
If you haven't heard of us, you haven't heard us at all, just go check us out. You can go to our website at callinggraceband.com. Also, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media. And yeah, we have a lot going down the pipe right now. We have a lot in store for everybody of what we want to do. Like I said, we want to put out a lot more content. It's just right now we've just been really like we've really been hammering pretty hard for this battle. We're trying to make sure that every round we bring a different element, and like when you only have a couple weeks in between rounds, it's like Jesus Christ, we only have so many rehearsals that we can do in a week. And so yeah, when we do have a lot of irons in the fire right now as far as what we want to do for content for people, because yeah, we honestly we love it. We love putting stuff out there, and we love entertaining people, and that's honestly why we're in this.
Awesome. Well, check these guys out at the finals of the Sioux City Battle of the Bands 6K at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Sioux City. That's it. Was that
That's
it?
it.
Sounds legit.
I kind of zoned out. I wasn't even listening.
All right, and this is the Sioux City Show. So if you can do me a favor and you can like us on like the Honeywave Media page on Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube, leave some comments, leave some ratings. Anything you want to do to interact. Don't leave negative ratings because I don't care. And don't leave any negative comments either because I'm not going to listen. So go ahead and we'll catch you later. Thanks so much.